We know when a force acts on a body, it creates some change in position of the body, and such change in position of the body is called motion, and the body moves in the direction of the applied force. But when the body moves in a predetermined direction or a particular direction, irrespective of the direction of the force acting on it, such motion is called constrained motion. The constrained motion is a decided motion or predetermined motion or a particular motion whose direction is decided. It is not influenced by the direction of the force acting on it. In a way, we can say that the body has a definite direction. Now, the types of constrained motion. We have completely constrained motion, where the freedom to the moving body is restricted totally. The example for this can be a square rod in a square hole, as you see here. Its movement is in a particular direction, or it is definite. It has no freedom to move in other directions. That is why this stands as an example for completely constrained motion. The next is successfully or partially constrained motion. To quote an example here, this is a bearing, footstep bearing. The shaft is rotating here, and the freedom is given to a little bit to this element while its rotation, which is a sliding action here. It is not totally defined movement. So, it is called a partially constrained or successfully constrained motion. Another example we can quote in this regard is the internal combustion engine valve. Coming to the last one, that is incompletely constrained motion. Here you observe a circular rod or a round rod rotating in a round hole. In addition to rotation, it can also slide here. There is a possibility that it can slide or reciprocate. The movement is not totally constrained. It has no definite motion. That is why it is called incompletely constrained motion. We now discuss about a kinematic pair. The two members or elements in a mechanism which are linked together is known as a kinematic pair. Combination of two links is defined as a pair. Such links and joints together function in transmitting the motion from one point to the other. Hence, a kinematic pair is a combination of two elements in a mechanism. We have discussed about the kinematic pair as having two links or elements. which when come in contact with each other are said to perform a pair, and these two links form a joint which permits relative motion, and such relative motion between them is completely or successfully constrained. Now we discuss about the classification of kinematic pairs. Depending on the nature of relative motion between the links, the kinematic pairs are classified into a sliding pair, a turning pair, a rolling pair, a screw pair, and a spherical pair. Let us first discuss about these types. Here you are seeing a sliding pair. When the nature of contact between the elements of a pair is such that one element can slide into the other, such pair is called a sliding pair. Here we observe a turning pair. When the nature of contact between the elements of a pair is such that one element can turn about the other, then such pair is called a turning pair. This is a rolling pair. When the nature of contact between the elements of a pair is such that one element rolls over the other, then such pair is called rolling pair. Lead screw of a lathe machine stands as an example for this pair. We have here a spherical pair. When the nature of contact between the elements of a pair is such that one element moves spherically about the other, then such pair is called a spherical pair. To quote an example, a ball and socket joint and pen supports joint in pen stand.
Cut. Rolling, sir.
Here is a screw pair. When the nature of contact between the elements of a pair is such that one element can turn about the other by screw threads, this is called a screw pair. The lead screw of a lathe machine stands as an example for screw pair. The second classification of kinematic pairs depends on the nature of contact between pairing elements. In this we have a lower pair and a higher pair. This is a lower pair. A lower pair is one which permits surface contact between the two links while in motion. Usually, a lower pair completely constrains the motion of the pair of links connected. To quote an example, shaft revolving in a bearing. This is a shaft rotating in a bearing. This stands an example for lower pair. This is a higher pair. That pair which permits only point or line contact while in motion is called a higher pair. Here, the relative motion between the elements of a pair is partly turning and partly sliding. In case of a higher pair, the constraint is often incomplete. Here, the example of a disk rolling on a surface is taken for higher pair. Another example can be the cam and roller follower, belts, ropes and chain drives. All these come under the category of higher pairs. We now discuss about a kinematic pair. The two links or elements of a machine, when in contact with each other, are said to form a pair. A joint which joins the two links in a mechanism is called a kinematic pair. This joint provides the relative motion between the two links, and such relative motion can be completely or successfully constrained. We now discuss the third classification of kinematic pairs. It is based on the nature of mechanical arrangement of links. In this classification, we have a closed pair and an open pair. We now discuss about the closed pair. Closed pairs are those in which links of a kinematic pair held together mechanically so as to have constrained motion. The contact between the two is effected only by destruction of at least one of the members. All the lower pairs and some of the higher pairs are closed pairs. Ball and roller bearings, cam and follower, and all screw pairs stand as examples for closed pair. The open pair. Elements of a pair that are not held together mechanically are unclosed or open pairs. They maintain contact either due to force of gravity or by spring action. In general, higher pairs are unclosed, that is open. A cam and follower stands as an example for unclosed pair. I hope you have understood the classification of kinematic pairs. We now try to learn about a kinematic chain. The kinematic chain, it is an assembly of links in which the relative motions between them exist, and motion of each relative to the others is definite. The relation between the number of pairs and the number of links to form the correct combination for a kinematic chain is given by the following expression: L is equal to 2p minus 4, where L is equal to number of links and p is the number of pairs. If L is equal to 2p minus 3, the kinematic chain is locked, and if it is 2p minus 4, then the kinematic chain is completely constrained, and if it is 2p minus 5, the kinematic chain is incompletely constrained. Diagrammatically, the locked kinematic chain can be shown like this. In this figure, we have 3 links, and it follows the rule L is equal to 2p minus 3. Hence, all the links are locked. Coming to the constrained kinematic chain, we have 4 links here, and the relative motion between any 2 links is totally constrained. That is, the motion is transmitted in a definite direction. Coming to unconstrained kinematic chain, here you observe 5 links, and in this chain the motion is totally unconstrained. There is no definite direction for the transmission of motion. A chain may be locked if no relative motion is possible between the links. A chain is constrained if there exists a definite relative motion between the links. And finally, a chain is unconstrained if the relative motion between the links are not definite. We have seen just now what a kinematic chain is. Now we try to understand what is a structure, a mechanism, and inversion. A structure is the arrangement of links in which no relative motion exists. The relative motion is totally absent between the links. In other way, it can be called as a locked chain. The examples are the bridges and the frames of machines. The mechanism, it is a kinematic chain with one link fixed and the motion of other links constrained. The motion that is to be transmitted between the links, it is totally definite and constrained. Hence, a machine does the function of transmitting the motion and transforming such motion into the useful work. If it is to transform the energy, then it is called a machine. Now, inversion, it is the method of obtaining different mechanisms by fixing different links in a kinematic chain. Now, inversion, it is the method of obtaining different mechanisms by fixing different links in a kinematic chain. Supposing we have a kinematic chain consisting of 4 links, then by fixing each link and allowing the relative motion to take place in the other links, we can get a kind of mechanism. This process can be repeated by fixing the other links also. This is how inversion is obtained, by fixing the links and allowing the relative motion in the other links. We have seen what a structure is and what mechanism is. and also what inversion is. We now go to what is called kinematic chain with 4 lower pairs. It is that chain which consists of 4 pairs, and all the 4 pairs are lower pairs. The types of the kinematic chain with 4 lower pairs are 4 bar chain or quadric cycle chain. The second is the slider crank chain. Now, the 4 bar chain, as you see here, consists of 4 links, of which one link is fixed. It is named D here, and it is called frame. Generally, the fixed link is termed as frame, and the link A here is crank, and link B, which is opposite to the frame, is termed as coupler, and link C is named as lever. Depending on the relative motion between them and the link that is fixed, we may have a rotational movement or motion in one of the links and oscillatory motion in the other link, and vice versa. And we may have 2 cranks also, that is to say that 2 links of these 4 may rotate about a pivotal point, and all these we can observe when we study about the inversion of a 4 bar chain. We now go to the inversion of a 4 bar chain. You see here a 4 bar chain or a quadric cycle chain which has 4 links: the frame, crank, coupler and lever. The frame is fixed here. We may find some relative motion between the other links. We have already studied about inversion of a mechanism. Now we discuss the inversions of quadric cycle chain. This is a 4 bar chain. A 4 link mechanism or linkage is the most fundamental of the plane kinematic linkages. It is a much preferred mechanical device for the mechanization and control of motion due to its simplicity and flexibility. We have already discussed the inversion of a 4 bar mechanism. Now we go into further details. The inversions of quadric cycle chain. In this figure, one of the links of this chain is fixed, that is D. Link D is fixed here. Link A, which is crank, is able to rotate about this pivot. Link B transmits this motion to link C, and as you observe here, link C is having oscillatory motion. It is oscillating. This way, the motion is transmitted from one link to the other link, and this is called crank lever mechanism. In this figure, the coupler is fixed, which is B, and link A is now having a rotational motion about this pivot, and also link C is having oscillatory motion, and link D acts as a linkage between link A and C and transforms this motion. This is called crank lever mechanism. In this figure, link A of the 4 links is fixed, and as you see here, link B is having rotary movement about this pivot, and link D is also having a rotary movement, and link C is also observed here. Hence, we have 2 cranks in the system which perform rotary movements. Hence, it is called double crank mechanism. Here, link C is fixed and links B and D are having oscillatory motion, and link A acts as a joint between link B and D and transmits this oscillatory motion from one to the other. Hence, this mechanism is called double lever mechanism, as the lever is an element which has oscillatory motion. This figure explains clearly the practical application of the inversion of a 4-bar chain. We have already discussed about one of the inversions, that is crank and lever mechanism. In this figure, the lever EDC oscillates about a fixed center D, while the crank rotates about the fixed center A. The end E of the lever CDE is connected to a piston rod which reciprocates due to the rotation of the crank. In other words, the purpose of this mechanism is to convert rotary motion into reciprocating motion. This figure explains another application of the inversion of a 4-bar chain, namely the coupling rod of a locomotive. The inversion here is double crank mechanism. As you see in the figure, the link 4, that is AB, is fixed, and we have 2 links AD and BC. They act as cranks to the respective fixed link, and they rotate about the pivotal points A and B. Hence, we have 2 cranks in the system, link 1 and link 3 and link 2 is a coupling rod. Therefore, this is called a double crank mechanism and practically it is named as coupling rod of a locomotive.